next to the chariot over near my lines. That was quite a critical play there. I cast Walking Death on the chariot instead, so I negated it from the knights, shifted it over to the chariot to make the chariot cause fear. That means if the ogres charge the chariot, it's not going to fail a fear test and flee back through my own guys. Very important move, I believe. Next photo, what happens here is his very valiant and victorious Marauder cavalry charged through my cavalry, overrun, and he decides to actually crash into my lot of guys. I feel like that was a mistake. The rules in the Warhammer rulebook say that if you're overrunning and there's a fresh target, you can choose to stop 1 inch away from the enemy unit. Now, had he done that, it would have been me charging him. He could have fled. He might have been able to save his guys. He might have even put me in range of his chosen to charge me next turn. But he decided to charge in. As luck would have it, he managed to kill 2 of my Chaos Knights on the charge with his flails. Unbelievably bad rolling by me for that to happen, but still, I had 2 characters in this unit, so obviously got crushed. Next photo. Chariot was just in range of his Marauder, so although there was a big standoff in the middle of the battlefield here, you can see my Chariot screaming and bashing his Marauders. I needed at least 4 kills to force a break test there due to a static combat res, but I got 6 kills, so the Chariot managed to victoriously crush through them. Really loving the base in this miniature. All the bases in my army have been bought from a company called Micro Art Studio. Look them up in the web. They're from Poland. I managed to get all these cool skull bases from them. My opponent's bases are from a company called Iron Halo, same guys that did the bases that I used for the High Elves. Next photo, in the right-hand side flank, I'm getting a bit worried because his Marauder unit has broken through the forest. He's got a chariot and a unit of ogres there facing off against my 1 unit of knights. I've got my hounds doing well in the background, but he's actually got more units than me over the side of the field. My knights are eventually going to get boxed in. Next picture, the chariot has bashed through the Marauders and is now in combat with his War Shrine. Really, this combat raged on for several turns. Just bashing at each other. He had the big toughness 6 and ward save. I had a good armor save and a lot of attacks, so we were both doing wounds to each other but not actually killing anything outright or inflicting any breaks. Next photo. So what you see here is his Marauder cav being sent away, and I decided not to pursue because I didn't want to put myself in range of his chosen. So that's quite crucial there. Just very, very cautious game. You don't really want to get charged by your opponent when it's Warriors of Chaos versus Warriors of Chaos, but there will be significant combats coming up, as you'll see. Next photo, the boxing in continues with all of his troops moving around, and my knights deciding to move back onto the hill, just getting ready for the inevitable sort of enclosure. Once he gets his fast cav in the way to redirect me, I'm going to have to commit. Next photo, you can see a big battle line being drawn here. Still, nothing's happened, but we've both spent both times just doing the boring sort of stand around and stare at each other. But we've got a few turns left for things to happen, and it is going to all go off. As you can see, my knights on the other flank getting boxed in. In the foreground, I've got my knights on the hill there, just waiting for an opportunity to bait his frenzy and really get stuck in there. And in the middle of the field, you can see the chariot and the War Shrine raging on. So I'm up on points at this stage, I think, by a little bit, but still fairly even match. Next photo, what's happened here is my knights have been diverted by his Marauder cavalry. So I've decided to charge the Marauders with the knights. The Marauders have fled into the forest, and now the knights are about to get charged by the chariot and the Yetis. So the plan here is to try and cast Walking Death on the knights to make them cause terror, and hopefully the chariot and the ogres fail their fear test, allowing me to charge them later on. Now that would easily win me the flank, but we'll see whether it actually happens. Next photo. Wow, this has got to be the photo of the match. I love the white in the background. His Chaos Lord is frenzied, of course, and he has higher movement speed than the rest of his unit. He's compelled to charge out. Now, critically, I made a mistake here. First serious mistake of the game, I believe. Well, maybe not the first, but it was a mistake. I have a BSB with the Armor of Damnation, which means that he has to reroll successful hits against me, and I didn't place the BSB within the middle of the unit. So when he charged this Juggernaut out, he's able to put himself base to base with my knights and my general, my general only has like a sword of battle and a collar of corn, and the fighting ensues. Now this is an important duel. Both of us are compelled to challenge and accept challenges. He's got a Axe of Corn, which is a killing blow, very scary stuff, and their challenge ensues between his lord, his general, an exalted champion on a Juggernaut, and my general, an exalted champion on a Chaos Steed. And I tell you what happens. He inflicts 2 wounds, enough to kill me, but I have an armor save. 3+ in the case of his general, and 2+ in the case of his juggernaut, and I rolled 1s for both of them, so they both get through. Then I realized that I actually had a collar of corn giving me a 6-up ward save, rolled a 6 on both wounds. He didn't inflict 0 wounds at all. I've got a banner, BSB, war banner, a hill, outnumber. He breaks, loses his frenzy, running him down. So awful result for my opponent, but what can you say? I mean, not a very advantageous combat for it, but had he got the killing blow on my general, it might have been better for him. Next photo, elsewhere in the field, my knights cause terror at this point due to the spell that has been cast on them from the Law of Death. His chariot attempted to charge me, failing his terror check and running off in the opposite direction. You can see in the way in the background, chariot running for the hills, but the ogres won't really worry about that. They're just charging straight into the flank, don't care about the fear or the terror. They cause fear themselves. The knights then cause fear because of the terror. You guys know how that works, but charging the flank nonetheless. Next photo, oh, brutal stuff. My knights have enough overrun after pursuing from the Chaos Lord cut down into his chosen. Tell you what happens in this combat. My BSB challenges this time, and his champion on foot has the helm of many eyes, so he strikes first, but he inflicts no wounds on me. I smash back with my flail, taking his head off, roll eye of the guard's table, makes me cause terror. My knights totally bash through his chosen, same with my general, and wipe them out as well, taking their banner. Excellent turning point there, probably giving me the game, to be honest. Next photo, my war shrine charges into the flank of the ogres because they didn't manage to kill the knights. Interesting play happened here. I actually used the war shrine to give the knights +1 leadership, giving them just enough leadership to pass the break test they had to face against the ogres. In the background, the war shrine is still fighting the chariot. That combat is just raging on forever. In the middle of the field, the warriors and enemy warriors are just standing off against each other. Next photo, you can see that in a bit more detail here. I've got sorcerers in the units in the foreground just sniping with spells, and because if he moves forward he's going to get charged by several units, he's decided not to do that, so it's a standoff in the middle. Unfortunately a bit boring, but elsewhere, as you can see, a lot of fighting's going on, so I'm managing to slowly take the upper hand here. Next photo, as you can see, the knights victoriously have crushed the chosen. He's got a single he's got a single marauder on foot, which later on in the game I'm going to snipe with some magic. And that appears to be it for that flank. Victory to Vaul and his chaos by the looks. Next photo, there's still a standoff. Nothing really is going on there. In the background, you've got my hounds capturing a table quarter, and there's a walking death spell on the marauders. Next photo, finally my opponent has some decent luck, actually managed to run down the Chaos Knights, or actually not run them down, defeat them, capturing their standard. That's why you can see my stand bearer placed behind his ogre unit. My war shrine fails its break test as well, so the ogre's victorious, chase down the knights. The knights in my final turn fail their rally test, so do the war shrine, so a massive points picked up, probably about 400 or 500 points picked up there, including the banner, from those ogres, so well done to my opponent. And next photo, you can see a photo of where we finished the game up. You can see my sorcerers in the foreground have left their respective units just to cast magic missiles on that lone marauder on horseback, because he's basically the surviving casualty from a big unit of 10 worth a lot of points. In the middle, there's been no fighting, disappointingly, but on the left-hand flank, I've crushed him. On the right-hand flank, he's got me. But the game ended up a victory to myself, just due to the fact that I'd killed 2 out of 3 of his characters. I had all my characters left. I had a banner, and his chosen were worth a lot of points. So it was a marginal win to me, but a win nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed this awesome battle report between some really good-looking armies and some great terrain. We'll have some more for you later. And the tournament is coming up middle of February, by the way, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. Catch you later, guys.